Alright. Beautiful. Whoop. So, okay. Guess I'm just wondering what's going on, really.
The pain in my leg sent me blind for a few minutes as I struggled up the cliff path. I swallowed another handful of painkillers, and now I feel almost lucid. The island around me has retreated to a hazed distance, whilst the moon appears to have descended into my palm to guide me. I can see a thick black line of infection reaching for my heart from the waistband of my trousers. Through the fugue, it's all the world like the path I have cut from the lowlands towards the aerial.
Weird. I'm baffled. Baffled. Wow. I have no idea what's going on. Oh, I just now noticed that cricket shut up.
I've begun my voyage in a
Yay.
paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
So he's gonna kill himself to join her. Not an uncommon response. And as he was say proceeding on his journey. And as he was proceeding on his journey. Ooh, what's over here? Oh, for a moment I thought it wasn't blinking anymore. And as the paper airplane flies and does stuff, I will write my various bits of wankery. Wow. And what happened and what happens as he was proceeding on his journey? What happens? Yes. Would you like to tell me? Of course not. Oh. Okay, so I gotta and was come near Okay, well that music is really weird. Come near something. It really reminds me of 2001: A Space Odyssey when they're like just doing their weird crap. Good
If
crap
only
though.
Donnelly had experienced this, he would have realized he was his own shoreline, as am I. Just as I am becoming this island, so he became his syphilis, retreating into the burning synapses, the stones, the infection.
And he was 3 days without sight. And neither did he eat nor drink. Everything's sort of glowy. the colors. I don't think there's that much light back here. Alright, well this is just a forest fire waiting to happen. Or brush fire, rather. Only you can prevent island fires. Alright. Hello.
There are headlights reflected in these retinas. Too long in the tunnels of my island without a bottom. The sea creatures have risen to the surface, but the gulls are not here to carry them back to their nests. I've become fixed, open and staring, an eye turned on itself. I've become an infected leg whose tracking lines form a perfect map of the junctions of the M5. I will take the exit at mid-thigh and plummet to my Esther.
Oh my. Oh my. And it came to pass that as I made my journey, oh, I'm gonna have to go up there and see what he. I think it wants me to kill myself. Jeez. I'm sure with this type of thing there's multiple endings, and from talking to my dad I get the feeling that there's various ways this could turn out. But, come on, man. Really? I think it's best you kill yourself. And was come... fright... What? Whoa. Damascus? And noon. What? Sold separately. Yeah, I have no idea what it's saying. Sold separately. Suicide experience. I think the infection, along with his depression,
A gull perched on a spent bonnet, sideways, whilst the sirens fell through the middle distance and the metal moaned in grief about us. I'm about this night in walking. Old bread and gull bones. Old Donnelly at the bar gripping his drink. Old Esther walking with our children. Old Paul as ever. Old Paul. He shakes and he shivers and he turns off his lights alone.
Yeah, I think we're going mad. We're going very mad. We're with me. That were with me. Oh. Came into. I came into Damascus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. The fence is rattling. It's very, very dreary.
I am the Ariel. In my passing, I will send news to each and every star.
Hello, I actually cut the audio out from here on out. There was a third-party content claim, and I was like, well, I'm just gonna cut it out. I don't like the idea of having those on my things. So, to fill this time, I figured I would acknowledge a comment I got before I was able to take it down. It was from Slarty Marvin Bartfast. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Okay, so here, I'll just quote it. He said, BTW, by the way, in case you're not familiar with the lingo, modern parlance and all. Anyways, he said, BTW, describing some of the narrative as wankery doesn't really help, smiley face, end quote. At first I was sitting here going like, doesn't help what? But no, I get it. He called me out on something that I did. I basically insulted it and called the narrative wankery without explaining myself or anything, and I get so annoyed when other people do that. I was really like, oh my god, I can't believe I did that. I'm so ashamed. So the narrative, I had a problem with the narrative, basically, in this game. And I'll acknowledge that the narrative serves a purpose for the game. It just needed to be presented differently. But yeah, it serves a purpose. It provides atmosphere, it sets a mood, it gives us insight to the protagonist and their mind and sanity and what has happened and these people that they're relating to, which is all very important. But because it played such a huge role in the game, it could have been worded in a different way to be more effective. I don't have a problem with the voice actor or anything like that. It had way too many words to try to say whatever he was trying to say. I don't even know what it was because it was covered so deeply in all of this stuff, all this flowery, abstract stuff that I didn't know. And when I saw it, the way I saw it, sorry, I'm reading some notes. The way I saw it, the visuals were atmosphere. That's right. Like, look at this, it's beautiful. Atmosphere to the story that the narrative sort of filled in, and I think the narrative provided the backbone, or at least it seemed like it sort of should have. So when it's the backbone, when it's the way I have for understanding the characters and what's brought him here to this island and what this island is, and it needs to be effective in communicating what's going on. And it wasn't. I didn't know what was going on a lot of the time, and it felt clumsy. I had to stop whatever I was excuse me. I had to stop whatever I was doing to stop and read the subtitles to try to understand what he was saying. And that feels like them acknowledging, hey, guess what? He's going to be saying things and it's going to be so abstract and flowery and all this stuff that you're going to have to read it to try to understand it. So good luck. Here's some subtitles. Well, that just doesn't seem very good or efficient or like a good way to spend time. But so basically my point is like, well, not my point. I'm just sort of filling in some more reasoning for why I was calling it wankery, because I still think it is wankery. Because when you have the written word, you can sit there and write whatever the hell you want, make it super flowery and abstract and whatever, because the reader can sit there and read it again and try to figure it out by themselves until they get it. But when it's spoken, you hear it word by word and you hear it once, and then it's gone, and either you understood it or you didn't. You need to be succinct and you need to explain things in a way so that somebody can understand what you're saying the first time you say it. Or, I mean, if you have subtitles on, that's great, but I still don't feel like I understood what he was saying, even with subtitles. And I get the point that the narrative are there are excerpts from the written letters to Esther, but that doesn't seem to justify it being like the written word for me, because it needed to be like the spoken word, because I'm hearing it spoken. And even with the subtitles, it wasn't very effective. I still don't feel like I understood it. And I played through it only once, so I get that I'm coming from probably a somewhat ignorant perspective. But hell, I played through it once. I still don't understand. I should be able to have some sort of idea. Like, first Donnelly was a guy, and then it's Esther Donnelly, so I don't know if there were two Donnellys, it just wasn't explained, or maybe he had this different perception of her, or maybe she was a transvestite. I don't know. But before I leave, I'm going to answer one question, which I know I would probably be asking me right about now. Is it's like, alright, well, you're complaining about this, what would you do differently? Well, I would take whatever they're trying to say. I don't even know what they were trying to say, so I don't know how I would present it differently. But I would take the core ideas and make it more succinct. That's all that needed to be done. Because it felt like they were fondling a thesaurus the whole time. Jeez. I just felt like the experience itself could have had a much larger impact if it was, simple to understand, and even if they had subtitles, if then I could read it and go, alright, I get it. But I didn't. And that was why I call it wankery, because it felt like a teenager with a notebook just writing a whole bunch of stuff. And they didn't even know what they were trying to say. That's what it felt like. But again, this is only my opinion. I'm not telling you to agree with me. And maybe after I play through it again, it will make more sense, but right now, this is how I feel about it. And, you know, I totally respect your opinion and everybody's opinion, whoever you are who's watching it, to feel totally differently, because that's the fun of life. You can think whatever you want about this, but I think the narrative was a big fap. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a fantastic day, and new videos for the next bits and stuff where I'm trying to find what I've missed will be up soon. So thank you again.